Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Dear students, you are welcome in this Kumar, Principal Scientist, Division of Agronomy, ICT Cultural Research Institute, Pusa Campus, New Delhi. Seed, fiber and sugar crops. The topic of this fifth lecture is origin, history, cropping systems and improved varieties of soya bean. Learning objectives are to know the origin, history, area and production of soya bean. So overall here you will see the origin, place and spread, area, distribution, production, productivity as well as in the world. You will also see how it is grown in different states of India. Then classification will also be discussed, cropping systems, what are different crop rotations as well as intercropping systems where soybean is grown. And also finally you will see the varietal development, how it happened in India and what are the latest varieties of this crop. Some glossary, cultivar, a variety, strain or race that has originated and persisted under cultivation or was specifically developed for this purpose. So many times cultivar and varieties are used interchangeably. So cultivar is actually the most popular variety which is under cultivation. Then annual, plant completing life cycle in single year or growing season, that is annual. Center of diversity, region where greatest variability of a species occurs. Primary center of diversity is the region of true origin and secondary center of diversity have subsequent spread. So overall you can see the primary center of origin is the place, maybe zone, maybe region, maybe state, maybe country and even maybe continent where you have largest diversity of a species or of a plant. That will be the primary center of origin. And then next comes the secondary center of origin. The variability of the species is high but not as high as in primary center of origin. Now dicotyledon, it is opposite of monocotyledon where seed has just one cotyledon. But in dicotyledon, it is a member of the Dicotyledoninae, one of two classes of angiosperms usually characterized by two seeds or cotyledons with net venation. This net venation is with respect to the leaves where you have kind of reticulated venation, the arrangement of veins on the leaves. Environment, the sum of all external conditions that affect an organism or community to influence its development or existence. So overall environment is actually dwelling place, the habitat, the surroundings of an individual is environment and it has biotic and abiotic factors and which interact with each other. Grain legume, plant of family Leguminosae that produces seed used for human food. Then legume, the fruit pod of the Leguminaceae, Fabaceae, derived from a single carpel, usually opening along a suture into two halves, usually dry particles, that is flour. Native plant, a plant species indigenous to an area, not introduced from another area. Simplest means it was existing in a particular area or particular zone. Race or strain, organisms of same species and variety differing in ability to parasitize varieties of a given host. Now let us check the importance of soybean crop. So basically it is oilseed crop. It is mainly grown for oils or for getting cooking oil or vegetable oil, but in addition to that we also get oil cake. And not only this, variety of processed product of soybean are quite popular not only in India, China or Brazil, but in USA and some some African countries and many other parts of the world. So it has been the world's most important seed legume, contributing 25% to global edible oil. So you can check at world level, soybean contributes maximum. This is 25% to the global edible oil and 2/3 of the world's protein concentrate for livestock feeding. So it has very important role because this soybean is rich in proteins, maybe 36, 38 or up to 40% protein is found in soybean. So soybean meal is valuable ingredient in formulated feeds for poultry and fish. Chinese medical compilations dating back to 6,000 years mention its utilization for human consumption. So overall, the origin of soybean looks to be China. It was oldest crop in China. To the people of China, Japan, Korea, Philippines and Indonesia, for centuries, soybean has meant to be meat, to be milk, to be cheese, to be bread and to be oil. So it was fundamentally basic food there. In the above countries, it has earned epithets like cow of the field, because soya bean can be used to produce milk, soya milk, or gold from soil. So it was very precious crops in these countries. Owing to its amino acid composition, the protein of soybean is called a complete protein. It has valuable amino acids in the protein. The nutrition value in heart diseases and diabetes is well known. Chinese infants using soybean milk in place of cow's milk are practically free from rickets. This is quite interesting, means in their case it was better than the cow milk. Soybeans are used to make non-fermented foods like tofu and tofu skin as well as soya milk. Many meats and dairy alternatives use components derived from soybeans such as textured vegetable protein. Now coming to India, in India, soybean oil is mainly used as a cooking medium or cooking oil or vegetable oil. Soya milk consumption nowadays has emerged as a healthy drink habit as it is a high protein and low calorie food, especially to those who are intolerant to lactose present in animal milk. So some people are allergic to lactose. So for those people, soya milk can be a better alternative. Soybean oil used in manufacture of vanaspati also it is used. Let us check the nutritional value or composition of 100 gram mature seeds of soybean. These are average values and you can see energy is 446 kilocalorie. Then see carbohydrates are about 30.16%, you can say, or 30.16 gram because this is in 100 gram. So it can be in percentage also. Similarly, protein here 36.49 or you can say 36.5% protein, and fat is 19.94 or you can say 20%. So 20% is oil in seed. Calcium is 277 milligram in 100 gram, and magnesium, you can see it is also having good values of magnesium, 280 milligram, and phosphorus 704 milligram, and potassium, you can see it is good source of potassium, 1797 milligram. Now coming to origin and history. So origin of soybean are obscure, but many scientists believe it was first domesticated in central China as early as 7000 BCE. So one can easily judge that it has been a very old crop, particularly in China. An ancient crop, the soybean has been used in China, Japan, Korea for thousands of years as a food and a component of medicines. So around the 13th century, soybeans were brought to Java in Malaya archipelago. By the 17th century, European traders like Portuguese, Spanish and Dutch began trading soybean and their products in Asia. By the 18th century, China had sent soybean to Americas and Europe. So you can see it was not basically crop of Americas, particularly USA, which is significant producer of this crop. So it was just imported in those countries only in 18th century. Soybeans were introduced into USA in 1804 and became particularly important in the South and Midwest in the mid-20th century. African countries consume a lot of soya, which was first introduced from China in the late 19th century. So it is really clear that it was originated in China, and from there it is spread to other continents. So in India, it was introduced from China in 10th century AD through Himalayan routes and also via Myanmar by traders from Indonesia. As a result, soybean has been traditionally grown on a small scale in Himachal Pradesh, Kumayu Hills, Uttarakhand, Eastern Bengal and Khasi Hills, etc. It has also been reported that the Indian continent is the second center of the domestication of the crop after China. The black-seeded soybean has been traditionally grown in the north and northeastern regions of India and further spread to different parts of India. So there are normally two kinds of colors, yellow colors and black colors of soybean seeds. Cultivation was further picked up after researchers took advantage of yellow-seeded material to develop high-yielding varieties suiting to Indian conditions. So number of varieties have been developed in India from state agricultural universities and ICR institutes. Let us check the data of the world area, production and yield of soybean during 2015 to 2020. So first column you can see it is year, second column is area is in million hectare. 1 million is equal to 10 to the power 6. If you multiply these values by 10 to the power 6, you will get in hectares. So then production is in million tons, and finally you will see the yield is in kilogram per hectare. So see, I have taken this data from year 2015. So in 2015, the area of soybean in the world was 121. 2016, it became 122, then 126, 124 in 2018, and 121 in 2019, and 2020 it is 127. So if you take a rough average of all these values, it will be somewhere around 124 million hectare. So you can say in world approximately 124 million hectare area is occupied by soybean. Then see the production. Production is in 2015 it was 323, then 336 in 2016, and 359 in 2017, 345, 336 and 353. So if I take the average values of all these, then it will be somewhere around 340 million tons of production of soybean in the world. But exactly in year 2020, you can see the area was 127 million hectare and production was 353 million tons. And coming to the yield, so you can see yield in 2015 it was 2,674 kilogram per hectare, then 2,752 and so on. And finally in year 2020 the yield is 2,784. However, during all these years, in 2017 you got highest yield, that was 2,856 kilogram per hectare in the world. Now top 5 countries producing soybean for the year 2020. So you can see that Brazil, USA, Argentina, India and China, these are the most important countries so far soybean area and production is concerned. You can check very easily. Brazil has the highest area in 2020, which is about 37.2 million hectare, and then USA 33.3, Argentina 16.7, India 12.1 and then China 9.9. Coming to the production, it was 121.8 in Brazil, 112.5 in USA, 48.8 in Argentina. So it is decreasing. You can check that India also has good production, that is 11.2. Coming to the productivity part, kilogram per hectare, Brazil has highest productivity, which is not Brazil, it is USA. USA has highest productivity. You can see it is 3,378 kilogram per hectare and followed by Brazil 3,275 kilogram per hectare, and then third one is Argentina. Argentina produced about 2918, that is 2,918 kilogram per hectare of soybean. India, you can see our productivity is really a matter of concern. It is 927 kilogram per hectare, which is much lower than the other countries like Brazil. And then China has around, you can say 1986, or it is somewhere around 2,000 kilogram per hectare, almost double than India, this China productivity. Coming to the data in India, trends in all India area production and yield during 1966-67 to 2022-23. So it started data here 1976-77. The area in India was only 1.12 million hectare. In next decade, say 1986 to 87, it rose to 1.53 million hectare. And you can see it went on increasing. It went on increasing in India, and recently in 21-22 it was 12.1 million hectare, and which has further increased to 13.1 million hectare in India. So really we have sizable area of soybean in the country. Now coming to the production in India, in 76-77 it was meager 0.12 million tons. Then in 86-87 it became 0.89, and since then India never looked back. You can see it started increasing. Almost the trend was increasing roughly. In few years there were depressions in the production, but overall you can see since 19 and 20 you can see it has further increased to 13 million tons in 21-22, and in year 22-23 it was 15 million tons. So students can remember that currently the area of soybean is 13.1 million hectare in India and production is 15 million tons. Coming to the yield, you can see the latest data is also available. So yield in 1976-77 was 988 kilograms per hectare, and then it started increasing. There were some ups and downs here and there during this period, but finally you can see in year 21-22 it was 1069 kilogram per hectare, and in 22-23 it was 1145 kilograms per hectare. So now things are improving, but still our productivity is almost half that of China. So we need to improve it. We need to find out the reasons why it is so. What are the reasons? Don't we have good plant types or variety? Are we not able to stop or prevent the infestation of insect pests and diseases, etc., etc.? Now within India, what is the situation? Let us check it. So top 5 states producing soybean for the year 21-22 and 22-23. So you can see that Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Karnataka and Gujarat, these are the important states. And among all these, you can see Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, they are on the top in India for soybean. Madhya Pradesh has highest area, which was 5.51 million hectare in 21-22. In 22-23, it increased to 5.97, or you can say 6 million hectare area in Madhya Pradesh during 2022-23, which is really quite good. And in Maharashtra, if you see area, in 21-22, it was 4.59 million hectare, and which has increased to 4.93 million hectare during 22-23. Other important state is Rajasthan, where the area was 21 during 21-22, 1.15, and then 22-23 it was 1.12 million hectare. Karnataka and Gujarat also have some area, but not as big as in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. Coming to the production, you can see the data on production. Although the area was more in Madhya Pradesh during 21-22, but production was more in Maharashtra. You can see in Maharashtra during 21-22, production was 5.5 million tons. However, in Madhya Pradesh it was 5.39 million tons. So you can see it. In year 22-23, the production was maximum or highest in Madhya Pradesh than in Maharashtra. See the productivity also. Productivity is generally higher in Maharashtra. You can see Maharashtra compared to Madhya Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh during 21-22, productivity was 978 kilogram per hectare, which has increased to however, in Maharashtra it was 1197. So you can see the difference in productivity. We have more productivity in Maharashtra. Similarly, coming to 22-23, again Maharashtra has more productivity than Madhya Pradesh. So this tells the story that there may be some better management of crop in the Maharashtra state compared to Madhya Pradesh. There may be some differences in irrigation also. Now see productivity in Rajasthan, it was 801 kilogram in 21-22, which has increased to 1026, and Karnataka 1147 in 21-22, which has increased to 1184 in 22-23. Then Gujarat has, you can say among these states, Gujarat has highest productivity, which is 1630 kilogram per hectare in 21-22, and which is 1681 in 22-23. So this was in brief data about the soybean in the world, in India as well as in different states of India, dealing with area, production and productivity. Now let us move to taxonomy or classification. It is also necessary to understand classification. Soybean was pronounced by C. Linnaeus both as Phaseolus max based on specimen he saw, and Dolichos soja based upon description of others. So later he obtained seeds of D. soja and grew them. He realized that both P. max and D. soja were the same. Since then, correct nomenclature of soybean has been the subject of much deliberation. Currently, the combination of glycine max, G max is glycimax, proposed by Merrill. Merrill in 1917 is widely accepted. Now you see the scientific classification of soybean. Domain is Eukarya, kingdom is planting, phylum is Magnoliophyta, and class is Magnoliopsida, order is Fabaceae, family is Fabaceae, subfamily is Favidae, genus is Glycine and Max, and after that authority name is L. Merrill. The genus Glycine wild as currently delineated is divided into two subgroups, glycine and soja. According to Heimovids 2004, the subgenus Glycine comprises 22 wild perennial species. The subgenus soja includes G. max, L. Merrill, and its wild annual counterpart G. soja, Sieb, and Zook. The subgenus Soja contains in addition a form known as G. gracilis, which is somewhat intermediate in morphology between G. max, glycine max and G. Soja. Hermann 1962 considered G. gracilis a form of G. max with some G. Soja genes. Now it is a list of species in the genus Glycine, wild and distribution as of January 2002. So you can see number of subgenus, number of species under subgenus Glycine. First one is G for glycine. Glycine albicans, tinned and craven. It is from Australia. Then G. Aphionota B. Pfeffel, Australia. And then G. arenaria, tinned, Australia. G. argyria, tinned, Australia. Next is G. canescens F. J. Hum, Australia. G. clandestine, Wendell, Australia. Then G. corvata, tinned, Australia. Then G. crytoloba, tinned, Australia. G. dolichocarpa, Taiwan. This is from Taiwan. Now continuing, the G. falcate is from Australia. Then G. horticalus is from Australia. Then G. lactovirens from Australia. G. latifolia from Australia. G. latrobinia from Australia. G. microphylla, Australia. G. paratosa, Australia. G. pindinca, Australia. G. polleni, Australia. So you can check that most of these wild species are in Australia. Then G. rubiginosa, Australia. G. stenophyta, Australia. G. tabacina. It is seen in Australia, West, Central and South Pacific Islands. Then G. tomentella hayata from Australia, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, Philippines and Taiwan. And now see the subgenus Soja. Soja moink F. J. Hum. G. Soja Sib and Juk. They are in China, Russia, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, wild soybean. And then G. max L. Merrill is cultigen. So now after seeing the classification or taxonomy of soybean, we go to another interesting topic, that is soybean in cropping system. How well it is fitted in different cropping system and what are important intercropping systems where soybean can be grown. So soybean forms an excellent cropping sequence with cereals for effective utilization of residual nitrogen as well as in controlling the weeds and pests. So being a leguminous crop, soybean fixes atmospheric nitrogen with the help of bacteria or Rhizobium japonicum, and significant quantities of nitrogen are fixed by the soybean, and then some nitrogen is left as a residual nitrogen, and which can be subsequently and efficiently utilized by the cereal components. So it is better to grow legume with the cereal crops. And not just nutrient supply, but it can also suppress weeds and pests. If we take legume like soybean in the rotation or cereal rotations, so it can also suppress or reduce the infestation by weeds and pests. On account of the availability of 85 to 130 days maturity duration varieties, it fits well in any of the traditional cropping sequences. The farmers grow soybean followed by wheat in case adequate or partial irrigation is available. Cropping systems like soybean linseed, soybean sunflower and soybean mustard are important. Crop is largely grown in soybean, wheat under irrigated condition and soybean chickpea under rain-fed cropping conditions. So basically soybean is a kharif crop, so you can grow soybean in kharif under irrigated condition as well as under rain-fed condition, but in irrigated condition you can take wheat and in rain-fed condition you can take chickpea during Rabi season. In addition, cropping systems like early soybean potato, early soybean, then potato, soybean garlic, soybean sunflower, soybean mustards are highly remunerative, and some of them are being followed in different parts of the country where soybean is a Kharif season crop. For the predominant soybean growing regions having vertizoles in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, this crop is grown in vertizoles. It has been found that after rain-fed soybean crops like pigeon pea, sorghum or chickpea can taken on the residual soil moisture. Remunerative cropping system for different zones are shown in next slide. So let us check the remunerative cropping systems of soybean based cropping systems in different zones. So first zone where the soybean is concentrated is central regions. Central regions comprise of Madhya Pradesh, Bundelkhand part of UP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, north and west part of Maharashtra and Odisha. So this is most important zone for soybean cultivation. And important or remunerative cropping systems here are soybean wheat, corn fodder, soybean in Kharif, wheat in Rabi and corn fodder in Zayad during summer months. Then soybean potato, soybean in Kharif, potato in Rabi, then soybean garlic or soybean potato, and then wheat is also possible. So these are 1 year rotations. Then soybean rapeseed or mustard, soybean pigeon pea and soybean safflower. So these were crop sequences or crop rotations for central regions. Now check the intercropping or mixed cropping systems for central region. So soybean plus pigeon pea, soybean plus sorghum, soybean plus groundnut, soybean plus palmlet, soybean plus cotton, soybean in mango or guava orchards. So lot of options are there for soybean. It can be grown with other oil seeds or it can be grown with certain cereals or it can be grown with pulses also. Now remunerative cropping systems for southern zones, south zones, it includes mainly Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and southern part of Maharashtra. What are the crop sequences for southern zone? Wheat, soybean, finger millet, peas, oat, cowpea, barley, soybean, finger millet, beans, soybean, wheat and groundnut. Intercropping or mixed cropping here, soybean plus pigeon pea, soybean finger millet, soybean sugarcane, soybean sorghum, soybean groundnut and soybean can be grown in coconut orchard or mango or guava orchard, and soybean can be successful in agroforestry systems also. Now northern plains, which includes Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, northeastern plains of UP and western Bihar. Now see the crop sequences that are remunerative for northern zones or plains. So here soybean wheat, soybean potato and soybean chickpea are the crop sequences. For intercropping, soybean can be grown in pigeon pea, soybean plus corn, soybean plus sorghum, soybean in mango or guava orchard and soybean can be grown in agroforestry systems also. For northern hill zones like Himachal Pradesh, north hills of UP. So you can see crop sequences are soybean wheat, soybean pea, soybean lentil and soybean thoria. So here you can see cereal option is there, soybean wheat. So succeeding crop can be cereal, succeeding crop can be legume which is pea and it can be legume that is lentil and oil seed thoria. So all kind of combinations of crop rotations are possible with soybean. And then inter or mixed cropping here, Himachal Pradesh, this corn is quite popular. So soybean plus corn, soybean plus pigeon pea. So these are the intercropping systems of soybean suitable for northern hills. Now northeastern region, it includes Assam, West Bengal, Bihar, Meghalaya. The crop sequences are soybean rice and rice soybean. The intercropping systems are soybean plus finger millet, soybean plus paddy, soybean plus pigeon pea, soybean plus roselle. Roselle is a fiber producing plant. Soybean plus temperate grass. So now we discuss in brief about the intercropping systems of soybean based. So in addition to sole crop, relay cropping, mixed cropping and companion or intercropping of soybean with other crops appropriate to the location and season like pigeon pea, sorghum, maize, soybean, cotton, finger millet and plantation crops have been found to be highly remunerative and biologically efficient, because in intercropping system the risk is minimized and you are the land equivalent ratio is also more. So at many occasions it is quite beneficial from many perspective, maybe from soil health management point of view also. Now during monsoon, the intercropping of soybean with pigeon pea, particularly when no rabi or winter crop is possible and soybean with corn is getting popular. In the north hills or plain zones of India, the soybean is intercropped with finger millet. Finger millet is your ragi, sorghum and corn. So you can see these are the cereal plants, and with cereal plant it makes really very good combination. Intercropping of cereal plus legume, perfect, it is recommended by people. So when intercropping is followed, fertilizer applied to soybean only. This not only result in fertilizer economy but also yielded more per unit of land area. Soybean intercropping with finger millet, it is practiced in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Soybean intercropping with finger millet is also practiced in the central and southern zones. In Madhya Pradesh, soybean plus pigeon pea in 4:2 ratio. That means 4 rows of soybean and 2 rows of pigeon pea. Intercropping is highly remunerative and recommended especially for rain-fed conditions. Intercropping soybean with sorghum or cotton is also recommended and practiced in and around Madhya Pradesh. So cotton plus soybean or sorghum plus soybean is also possible and is practiced in Madhya Pradesh. For northern hill and northern plain zones, soybean maize and soybean sorghum are recommended rotations. For southern zone, particularly Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, intercropping with finger millet, maize and pigeon pea and also sugarcane is recommended. The other remunerative intercropping combinations are soybean corn, soybean sorghum, soybean sugarcane, soybean pigeon pea and soybean finger millet also identified in their respective areas of adaptability. So it is really a very flexible crop. It can be easily fitted in crop sequences and it can be easily intercropped also. Intercropping is possible with cereals, pulses as well as some oilseed crops, also sugarcane, plantation crops and maybe in orchards also, orchard of guava or orchard of mango. Now after seeing the cropping system or important cropping system of this crop, let us check the recommended varieties. So varieties play a very important role in giving more yields. Particularly high yielding varieties have been developed that give more seed yield per unit of input use. For example, at same level of input, if you have good variety, better variety, high yielding variety, it will give you more yield than the low yielding potential variety. So therefore, selection of variety is important. And many times varieties have been developed for biotic and abiotic stresses. Biotic stresses are like your insect pest and disease. So some varieties which are tolerant to insect pest disease or resistant can be grown. So that is why the knowledge of varieties is important. And also for quality traits, some varieties have been bred for quality traits. So if somebody is interested in a particular quality parameter, then you can take that particular variety. There are number of varieties which can be used under abiotic stresses conditions. Abiotic stresses may be from soil, may be from environment. So therefore, knowledge of varieties is important, and let us see some details about the recommended varieties. The soybean breeding program is started at Pantnagar by screening of about 1400 available germplasm line in 1970 for resistance to rust and YMB. YMB means yellow mosaic virus, but none of these were found to be resistant. Therefore, the United States Department of Agriculture, which is commonly called as USDA, was requested to donate the entire soybean germplasm collection to India. A total of about 3,500 lines sent to India, out of which 2 lines PI 171443, a cultivated soybean, that is Glycine Max, originally from China, and Glycine formosana, a wild soybean also from China, were found completely resistant to yellow mosaic. So therefore, the genes for disease resistance were taken from the related species to the soybean. Related species like your Glycine formosana. Then genetic studies revealed that the inheritance of resistance to rust was controlled by a single dominant gene, whereas the inheritance of yellow mosaic virus was controlled by 2 pairs of recessive genes. So this information was quite helpful. These resistant sources were used in a hybridization program, and a number of varieties were developed that combined the resistance with high yield potential and good seed viability. The history of development of soybean varieties in India is comparatively new. The introduction of soybean started in 1963 with trials conducted at Pantnagar and Jabalpur agricultural universities using varieties from the USA. So USA has been quite generous to donate the species, the parents, the lines for development of varieties in India. Promising varieties in these trials like Bragg was quite famous variety. Bragg and Clark 63 were released for cultivation. In fact, these 2 varieties, Bragg and Clark 63, are kind of historical varieties. During 1980 and 1990, these varieties were used as parent to develop further improved varieties for Indian conditions. The varieties developed after 1990 utilize breeding lines and indigenously developed varieties in hybridization programs. The yield of soybean has improved 4 times in comparison with traditional variety Kali Tur. So in India, soybean cultivars are classified into 3 major categories according to maturity period or maturity in days. So early duration varieties, they mature in 85 days. This is important for students to remember these kind of duration. Medium duration variety from 86 to 100 days, and late duration varieties are more than 100 days. Or you can say early maturing varieties 85 days, medium maturing variety 86 to 100 days, and late maturing variety more than 100 days. Now see the details of notified soybean varieties for different zones. As you know, there are different zones of soybean cultivation. So we'll see the important variety and recent varieties which have been developed and recommended for different zones. So let us start with central zone. So central zone includes Madhya Pradesh, Bundelkhand of UP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, northwest region of Maharashtra. So see first column, it is the variety, and then year of notification is in the bracket, and then maturity in days and maximum yield ton per hectare. So first one is JS 20-116. This variety was released in 2019. The maturity is 95 to 100 days and the maximum yield potential is 3 tons per hectare. so good yield. Then JS 2094, released in 2019, 98 to 100 days maturity and 2.7 tons per hectare is the yield. Then JS 2098, released in 2018, and duration is 96 to 101 days and maximum yield ton per hectare is 2.3. Coming to next variety, NRC 127, released in 2018. The duration is 100 to 104 days and yield is 2.2 tons per hectare. Next is RVS 2002-4. It was released in 2017 and duration is short. It is say 92 to 96, or you can say medium duration, and the yield is 2.2. Next is RVS 18, released in 2018 for MP, and duration is 92 to 97 and yield is 2.4. JS 2016-20-69, 2016 for MP, and duration is 91 to 97 and yield is 2.3. NRC 86, year to 2015, and yield was 2.4 and duration 95 to 100. So one can see that generally you can see if duration is more, say in variety number 1 and 2, duration is 95 to 100 or 98 to 100, the production is look to be more. You can see it is from 2.7 to 3 tons per hectare. But as you reduce the duration of the variety, like say 92, 97, the yield is also low. Next is JS 2029, released in 2014. The maturity duration is 93 to 96 days and maximum yield is 2.4 tons per hectare. Next variety is RVS 2001-4, year of release 2014. The maturity duration is 101 to 105 days and maximum yield is 2.8 tons per hectare. RKS 45, year 2013, and maturity is in 98 to 100 days and yield is 2.8 tons per hectare. Then JS 97-52, released year is 2008 and 100 to 106 days maturity and 2.5 tons per hectare is the yield. Then JS 95-60, year of release 2007, 85 to 89, yield is 2.3 tons per hectare. JS 93-05, year of release is 2002, duration 90 to 96 and production is or productivity is 2.4 tons per hectare. Then see very interesting varieties like NRC 37, which was released in 2001. The duration is 99 to 105 and yield is 3 tons per hectare. And JS 335, release year was 1994, and you can see the maturity is 96 to 102 days and yield is 2 tons per hectare. So generally again same trend is there, longer the duration, relatively higher is the yield. Now see the varieties for eastern zones. Eastern zones may includes your Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha and West Bengal, and northeastern hill zone. It includes Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland and Sikkim. For all these regions, see the recommended varieties. JS 20-116, year of release is given 2019, 95 to 106 is the duration and 2.5 tons per hectare is the yield. So other important varieties like RKS 113, 2018, 100 to 102 days maturity, 1.9 tons per hectare is the yield. KS 103, duration 89 to 94, 3 tons per hectare. CG Soya 1, released in 2018, 95 to 100 days and 2.8 tons per hectare. Then KS 103, which was released in 2018 and duration is 89 to 94 days and yield is 3 tons per hectare. And see the next variety is CG Soya 1, and it was released in year 2018 and the Duration is 95 to 100 days and yield potential is 2.8 tons per hectare. Next variety is JS 9752 released in 2008 and duration is 99 to 109 and maximum yield is 2.5 tons per hectare. Other variety is RKS 18 released in 2007. Duration is 95 to 100 days and yield is 2.6 tons per hectare. Next variety is RAUS 5 2007 release year and 96 to 104 duration and 2.5 tons per hectare is the yield potential. Northern Plain Zone, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, northeastern plains of Uttar Pradesh, plains of Uttarakhand and eastern Bihar. So now see the recommended varieties, their maturity period and yield potential in Northern Plain Zone. So first variety can be PS 1477. This was released in 2017. The duration is 113 to 120 days and yield is 2.8 tons per hectare. Next is PS 1521 released in 2017 and the duration is 112 to 115. See, the yield is high, 3.2 tons per hectare. PS 1480 released in 2017 and the duration or maturity is 123 to 126 days and the yield is 2.5 tons per hectare. Next is SL 958. It was released for cultivation in 2015 and the maturity is 135 to 145 days and the yield is 2.3 tons per hectare. Pusa 12 2015 and the maturity is 124 to 131 days and yield is 2.5 tons per hectare. Next is PS 1368 released in 2013. The duration or maturity period is 117 to 125 and the yield is 2.3 tons per hectare. Next variety is PS 1225 released in 2009. The duration of this variety is 122 to 127 and the yield potential is really good. It is 3 tons per hectare for the variety PS 1225. Now next zone is North Hill Zone. This zone includes Himachal Pradesh and hill region of Uttarakhand. So these are the recommended varieties. VL Soya 89 2019 it was released. The maturity period is 111 to 120 or 111 to 120 days is the maturity period and then see the yield potential. Yield potential is 2.5 tons per hectare. Next is VL Bhat 2001 released in 2016. The maturity days is 113 to 120 days. Yield potential is 1.8 tons per hectare. The next important variety is VL Soa 77 released in 2016 and the duration is 113 to 127 and the yield potential is 2.3 tons per hectare. And then VL Soa 65 released in 2010 and the maturity period is 118 to 125 days. The yield potential is 2 tons per hectare. So you are seeing here that yield potential is also varying with the maturity in days. In some cases there may be similar maturity but yield levels are different. In those cases, those particular variety may have variability, certain variability in insect pest, disease resistance or maybe variability in quality parameters, particularly oil content in soybean. VL Soya 63, it was released for cultivation in year 2008. The maturity days are 125 to 130 days and maximum yield obtainable is 3 tons per hectare. So it looks to be a good variety, VL Soya 63. Now southern zone like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, southern part of Maharashtra. So variety, year of notification and then maturity and maximum yield. So first one is MAUS 612. It was released for cultivation in 2018. The duration is 93 to 98 days and the yield is 2.8 tons per hectare. Next is Basar. This is 2018 year of release and 105 to 115 days and 3.2 tons per hectare is the yield potential. Then MACS 1281 released in 2016, duration 90 to 100 days and the yield potential is 2.8 tons per hectare. Next is KDS 344 and then 93 to 95 days and 2.8 tons. And then DSB 21, 90 to 95 days and 3 tons. MAUS 162 2014 and maturity is 100 to 103 days and 3 tons, etc. Some more varieties you can see the recently released soybean varieties for different zones. So these are really very interesting and good varieties released in year 2021. You can see latest varieties and the first one is MACS 1407. It is recommended for Eastern Zone. EZ means Eastern Zone and 99 to 107 days duration and 30 to 100 kilogram per hectare is the yield, maximum yield. The next is MACS 1460. This variety is recommended for Eastern Zone and Southern Zone and its duration is 93 to 98 days and yield potential is 2700. And other variety is MACS 1520 recommended for Central Zone, NRC 132 Eastern Zone, NRC 147 Eastern Zone, NRC 128 North Plain Zone, NRC Central Zone and NRC 136 Eastern Zone, NRC 130 Central Zone. So number of varieties have been developed recently and their yield potential is also high. You can see as high as 3000 to 3100 kilograms per hectare. Some more varieties are there like RSC 1048, RSC 1052, AMS 2014-1, AMS MB 518 and DSB 34 and NRC 131, NRC 136, NRC 157. These were released in 2020 for Madhya Pradesh. So dear student, hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you very much.